Hi everybody, welcome back to the Millcreek Government Channel. I'm Phil Fatica. Thank you for being with us. You can find us in a couple of places on Channel 9 or at 97.2 on the digital dial. We're there, believe me. Thanks for joining us again today. I appreciate that very much. I want to introduce you to a person I think some of you are quite familiar with. Let's say hi to Jan Stork. Jan is the Senior Director of Make-A-Wish, the nonprofit organization that does what?
Well, our mission is actually very simple. We grant the wishes of children who have been diagnosed with a life-threatening medical condition. That's our mission, and that's what we do, and we're very good at it.
And you've been doing this for some time, haven't you?
I have been with the organization for 18 years.
Wow, yeah. There's so much information about Make-A-Wish that I did not know, and we've spoken before on this program, and I'm so glad you've done this. For example, the Make-A-Wish began 30-some years ago in Phoenix, Arizona.
Correct.
Why?
There was a very ill little boy by the name of Chris. He was 7 years old. And for any of your listeners who might remember the TV show Chips, it was his favorite TV show. He wanted to grow up to be like the police officers in Chips.
California Highway Patrol.
Yes, absolutely. But he'd been diagnosed with leukemia and was not doing well. And his mother knew that his likelihood of being able to have that dream realized was slim. So she contacted the Arizona Department of Safety and said, I'd like to do something for my son. Would you be willing to help me? So a handful of people got together, made him a uniform, gave him a badge for the day, and picked him up at the hospital and allowed him to take the day and go out and write tickets for jaywalkers. Oh,
that's so sweet. That is so sweet.
But that inspired Make-A-Wish.
I was under the impression that Make-A-Wish was just here, Erie County, so to speak. It's not. You're part of a very big spread of counties that go across state lines.
Yeah, absolutely. It starts with, there's Make-A-Wish America, and there are about 60-some chapters.
Okay.
We are Greater Pennsylvania and West Virginia.
In West Virginia.
So we cover 57 counties in Pennsylvania and the entire state of West Virginia.
57 counties. There are 67 counties in the state of Pennsylvania, so you really have the lion's share.
We do.
Yeah, wow. Well, the obvious question, I'm sure, is we're teasing you for this. How did you get to Make-A-Wish? What's the process? Let's use Phil.
Children, anybody can refer a child. The children have to be between the ages of 2.5 and 18. They have to have a diagnosed life-threatening medical condition. So that's progressive.
And I want to insert here, and I don't want to sound morbid, but when you say a life-threatening, it doesn't necessarily mean
terminal.
Terminal. It doesn't necessarily, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean terminal. All right,
in layman's term, what we say to people is that there's a possibility, but not a certainty, that a child won't survive their 18th birthday due to their condition.
Okay, and massive papers here and research I've done. I have a paper here, now we're going to try to get this up on the screen for you a little bit later. This is an application that you can fill out that is actually a referral form. And so, let's say you're going to submit Phil. You're going to refer Phil. Okay. What's the information?
And Phil's 15.
Oh, thank you. You're an angel. Phil is 15.
Yes.
Okay.
So the information that we need, first of all, the family has to be aware of the referral. Whenever someone calls and makes a referral, the family has to be aware that it's happening.
So some good Samaritan couldn't just arbitrarily say, well, I know that Phil's family can't. I'm just going to take the ball and run with it. Phil's family has to know. They have to know. First.
And it's twofold. One, we don't want to surprise any family in calling and they're not aware of it. And there's still a very common misperception that we only do wishes for kids who are dying. So if we call a family member and say your child's been referred, their first thought might be, but my child's not that sick. So it's an opportunity for a family, for a referrer to talk with the family ahead of time to say, let me share the statistics with you. Your child's been going through a lot. They've been in the hospital. They've had all kinds of medications. Your child deserves something. And the great news is more than 80% of children who have received wishes through our chapter are still living today. So that's a great statistic to share, and I think it's important for families to know that. So we need to know the child's name, the parent's information, the physician's information. That's what we need to know in order to make a referral.
A lot of confidential information is placed into your hands, obviously, and you earn that trust, I'm sure. So I fill out the form, the papers are filled out, or whoever's taking care of me, and we're going to put this up on the screen for you so you can see this, is what happens next. All of this information is gathered. Do you then do something with it? Do you, Jan Stork, follow up with this?
Well, we then send information on to the physician that's treating the child for their medical condition. And they are the ones that determine whether or not a child's condition qualifies them for a wish.
Okay, so it could be that the physician says, I'm sorry?
Yes.
Or absolutely?
The physician could say it's more of a chronic illness.
Okay.
Or it could be that their illness at one time was life-threatening, but they are now completely cured, which would be wonderful.
Oh, absolutely.
So those are the types of things that the physician would look at.
Then what happens?
Then if
the physician, the family's good with this, and everything is go.
Yes.
Blast off.
Then the very first thing we do is contact the family. We get information on everybody in the family, T-shirt sizes, because they all get T-shirts. And then we assign a team of volunteers who then go into the children's homes and meet with the child and the parents and determine what the child's wish will be.
Okay. Now, I know what that wish is, and I bet you do too. The number one most wished for thing, if it were you or your family or your son or grandson or cousin or aunt or uncle or neighbor, what do you think they would wish for if they're, again, between the ages of what and what?
2.5 and 18.
2.5 and 18. What do you think they would wish for? Jan, drum roll, what do they wish for?
Number one wish is Disney World.
Disney World.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of families will say, I don't know if I want my child to choose Disney because maybe eventually someday we can take them there.
Yes.
But as I always say to families, you should know, certainly you can do that, but you cannot do Disney the way we can do Disney. We have a very special resort where all our families stay called Give Kids the World. Many people may have heard of that. And it's a resort designed specifically for sick children.
Say that again.
Give Kids the World.
Give Kids the World.
And it was designed by a Holocaust survivor. And who always said children should have magic in their lives, particularly sick children.
What's the Magic Kingdom?
It is almost a wish without going to the parks. It is an amazing experience just to go to Give Kids the World. And then we talk with the children if they have a favorite character, if there's someone they want to meet, perhaps a princess or a superhero of some sort, we can make that happen.
This takes an incredible amount of organization to you just simply say, we can make this happen because, first of all, there's a big dollar figure involved in this. So that next question, this is why they pay me the real big bucks, is where do you get your money from?
The hard questions.
Yeah, the hard ones, not the softballs. Where do you get your money from?
Well, the average cost of a wish is $3,900.
Say that again.
$3,900.
Okay, $4,000.
Yes.
4,000.
And we're very fortunate. We, as I think across the board with anybody who raises money, individuals are the number one source of giving.
Okay.
And that can be anyone from organizing an event, that would be an individual that organizes an event, to people who write gifts in memory of someone who's passed away, to someone out there that's watching that says, you know, I would really like to do something.
Yeah. They can remain anonymous.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or they can put their name on the bottom of the check,
Yes.
whatever you choose. Okay. So that's a great question. So you get the money. I do want to go to Disney World, all right? And you got the money, and then who goes? How many people go? Certainly the child.
The child, the parents, and anyone who lives in the household with the child that is an immediate family member.
Okay.
And is under the age of 18. If they're over 18, perhaps it's a child in college. We just need to get special approval for that.
Okay.
If it's someone that's 28 and has their own children and live in the household, they might not be approved, but it's anybody, immediate family who live in the household with a child.
And so in total, generally, how many people go? You leave Erie, you fly?
If they wish, some families are uncomfortable flying,
Okay.
so they will drive. Some take the train,
Yeah.
So it really varies. Our families can range anywhere from 3 children, a child and 2 parents, to we've done wishes for families of 10.
And how long is that? How long?
Well, depending on what their wish is. If it's a Disney wish, it's 7 days and 6 nights. So they're there and gives them plenty of time to visit all the wonderful parks and spend some time at Give Kids the World.
There are other requests, as I'm sure you know. By far, my notes say that about 50% at least want to go to Disney World.
Yes.
Right. Now, but right on the heels of that, or, well, not quite on the heels, but the second biggest thing that they want to do is?
Shopping sprees.
Shopping sprees. Yeah.
Yes.
Anywhere particular? Any particular?
You know what, it varies. It probably depends on where they live. If they're local here, they love to go to the Millcreek Mall, they love to go to Walmart, they love to go to Best Buy. Those are our most popular places for kids to go.
And Make-A-Wish foots the bill.
We foot the bill.
Up to a certain point.
Right, and it depends. We actually have a sliding scale.
Yeah.
Depends on the age of the child, and this is over years of experience knowing how much to give a child. And so, but a limousine will pick them up in the morning at their home and escort them all day by limousine. They get to have dinner at their favorite restaurant. And I'm happy to say that locally, the response we get from all of the stores that we work with in the restaurants, they're unbelievably generous to us.
I'll bet. Yeah, that's just sweet. Now, somewhat down the line, the list is something that there's like other travel, but also celebrity meetings.
Yes.
And so is there any celebrity does it go by the current fad as to whom they want to meet?
It does. It definitely goes by the current fad. Now, as you can imagine, right now, Derek Jeter, extremely popular because he's retiring.
Yep.
And so we've had a lot of kids that have wanted to meet him.
And have you been able to do that?
We have.
Whoa,
and, yes,
really?
And
how do you do that?
well, we work with the Make-A-Wish in New York to make that happen, and they work with the Yankees organization. And then the Steelers are a huge hit this time of year.
Yeah.
At every home game, our Pittsburgh Steelers are meeting with Wish Kids. Every home game.
That says a lot.
It does. They
says
are phenomenal
Yeah.
with our kids and
Yeah.
truly make them feel like they're part of the team.
Yeah, or part of riding in the chips or the fire wagon or the fire truck or whatever it is. Yeah.
And
so that kind of brings us around a little bit, half a circle here. I know you'd like to get involved with this. There are other means besides just writing a check. So I want to volunteer. So I'm no longer the person going, I'm now grown up and I want to volunteer. I would imagine there has to be some sort of vetting process to make sure that I'm okay to join your team.
There is.
What happens?
First, you have to be 21 years of age in order to volunteer as a Wish grantor where you're working directly with families. Okay. And so you have to have your clearances through the state of Pennsylvania and actually across the country. So we run a background check for clearances.
They have a number that is attached to that. It says that you can work with children, that you don't have a record of crimes involving
Absolutely,
children.
Absolutely, or any crime of any kind, really. And then you have to attend a volunteer training session, which is usually about a half-day training session. Then we don't just say, okay, you're trained, go on. We pair you with what I like to call seasoned volunteer, not old, but seasoned volunteer, who can kind of walk you through the process. They meet with you beforehand. They say, this is how it's going to go once we meet with the family, who's going to work with the paperwork, who's going to sit with the child. Those are the types of things they talk about ahead of time. And then that team goes in to meet with the child and the family. Okay.
Now, you have an office locally?
We do, right here in Erie, downtown.
And it's located?
In the Renaissance Center, 1001 State Street.
Okay. Floor?
Fifth floor.
Fifth floor.
Suite 502.
Okay. Got a phone number?
868-WISH, which is 9474.
Yeah. So volunteer opportunities aplenty for everybody out there. All you have to do is get a hold of that number that Jan's talking about. But besides that, though, you have such a big organization here that we're trying to raise a lot of money. And I would think that the public, when they hear Make-A-Wish, it sells itself. So how else? I know you have Kids for Wish, Wish makers on campus, wish makers at work, a laundry list of things. You can just go for an hour there.
I could go for an hour. We do have a lot of different opportunities, regardless of how people want to get involved. And if you're at work and you think, geez, my work group would love to get involved, we have wish makers at work. We have Kids for Wish Kids for school groups, wish makers on campus for college groups that want to raise money. We're very fortunate. We are a national partner with NCAA. So you'll see a lot of local athletes in Erie, Edinburgh, Mercyhurst, Gannon. They all raise money through the NCAA promotion for Make-A-Wish. Last year, Edinburgh University raised more than $10,000.
How much?
More than $10,000.
Is that so?
Yes.
That is beyond generous.
It's unbelievable. They raise money all year long, and it's really rewarding for us to see students who want to give back, student athletes who don't traditionally have a lot of spare time, and yet they're out there raising money, and it's a wonderful partnership, and we've been doing it for a lot of years, and overall they've raised more than $500,000 for Make-A-Wish.
Really?
Yes.
That's phenomenal. That's wonderful. Now I have my notes say that you also have some matching gifts, and that you have corporate matching, I think would be the
Yes,
way
and
to
we're
look at
lucky.
it.
A lot of local companies match. Erie Insurance matches all donations of over $25, as does GE. So if you happen to work for them.
So Phil, yeah, I was just going to say, now Phil, the grown-up Phil, says, well, I work for ABC Widgets, that they may have a program where whatever I write, they'll match.
Yes,
Check?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Just ask your employer.
Yeah, you just have to fill out some forms, and it really is great. If someone writes a check for, say, $1,000, it turns into $2,000, and that is absolutely wonderful.
Oh, absolutely. This is a question I'm sure that a lot of you people are wondering. Does the demand go up or down according to the times in which we live? Is there any correlation between Make-A-Wish and what's happening economically, threat of war, good times, or happy days are here again kind of thinking?
I have not seen that in my 18 years with Make-A-Wish. I have not really seen the need for wishes, because it's based on a child's illness, and there's no prediction as to when someone will be diagnosed with an illness. I have not seen that that the economy affects that at all. It may affect people making donations, and may make it a little more difficult for us to fulfill wishes because the money may be lower, but the need for wishes has not changed.
I hope I want to phrase this so that when some of these children who have gone and they have these conditions, is any of this ever proven to be a spark that improves their condition? I want to find the right words to use there.
Well, that's perfect. It absolutely does. When we talk about our mission is to grant the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions, to enrich the human experience with hope, strength, and joy. And that's exactly what a wish does. It can give a child hope when they feel that all hope is lost. It definitely provides joy, and it gives them strength to fight their illness. I have countless examples of children who, and I've probably told this before, but I think it's worth repeating. We had a woman by the name of Danielle. She was 15 and diagnosed with AML, which is the bad kind of leukemia, if there can be a good and bad kind. And had been approved to receive a wish, and she wanted to swim with the dolphins. And the doctors had approved that at the time. Between the time that she was approved and we were able to notify her, she had taken a turn for the worse and was in the hospital and not expected to make it. She really was not doing well. And so her mother crawled in bed right next to her and cuddled up and said, "You need to get better, because I just heard from Make-A-Wish that they're going to be able to do your wish to swim with the dolphins." Having no idea whether Danielle could actually understand her or hear her. And about 24 hours later, Danielle woke up, and the first thing she said was, "When do I get to go swim with the dolphins?"
Really?
So we know. Her mother, to this day, says, "I credit Make-A-Wish with giving me 7 more years with my daughter that I would not have had."
This is Jan Stork. She is the Senior Director for Make-A-Wish, and she's telling you how you can become involved with this extremely worthy organization. And been around how many years around our part of the country here?
Well, our chapter started in 1983.
Okay.
And the very first wish in Erie County was 1984.
Okay, so 84, 94, to a couple years.
Yes, just a couple years.
So,
and we've seen it grow. Every single year we do more wishes because we become better known. I like to think it's because we've become better known, not necessarily that there are more children being diagnosed, but there probably are more children being diagnosed and are qualifying for wishes.
Can people say they want to start some sort of a, I don't know, carnival or something for the kids? And do you encourage people to be creative and fundraise and say, "Hey, Make-A-Wish, this is what we want to do for you"? And I'm sure you get a lot of that.
We
but
get
how do you do it?
calls all the time, which is so nice from people in the community that want to do that.
Tell me your phone number again then.
814-868-9474.
And they'll speak to?
Me.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, we have a very small office. We have 2 full-time and 1 part-time person in our office. So there's a good chance I will answer the phone when you call.
Nice. And so you direct and say, what would you like to do? We're going to have we're going to sponsor we're going to sell
We have
examples?
paperwork we ask them to fill out.
Okay.
Someone just dropped off a check yesterday for more than $10,000 for a 10K that they did.
What?
Yes.
Say that again.
For a 10K, they raised more than $10,000. It started off as, and
Wonderful.
we got 70% of it. They were doing it in honor of one of our wish children. And 30% went to the family to help pay expenses, and then 70% went to Make-A-Wish. Very sadly, within that planning process, the child passed away, and so it became a memorial 10K. But the amazing support that this person received from the community and from their friends and family was remarkable. But we asked them to fill out a form. We have a committee that looks it over, make sure it's approved, and we ask them some questions to make sure that they're planning it correctly. And part of my job is to help them be realistic, yet at the same time strive for great success. And a lot of people will say, we have no idea how much we're going to raise. And I always suggest, think about $3,900, which is the average cost of a wish. If you can raise that much, you become a wish maker. But some don't, and some raise $500, and I'm thrilled with that.
Absolutely.
As I'd like to say, regardless of what people give, it's more money than I had yesterday.
Yes.
And that's a wonderful thing.
How many wishes then do you grant in a season, a month?
Well, our fiscal year,
however you bank it out.
Our fiscal year is September through August, and so we just finished our fiscal year. Chapter-wide, we did 762 wishes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yes.
amazingly wonderful.
Yes.
762.
762.
So I guess what I'm hearing is I can't say to you, well, I want to go in a month from, we're taping right now, a month from now, you'd have to say, well, maybe, but we're going to probably load it up for 5 months from now, or
As far as when a wish can be fulfilled?
Yes.
No, our goal really, it depends on the child's health. A lot depends on the child's health.
Right.
If it's a rush wish, if the doctor says this wish, because the child's condition could change drastically, we want to do it right away. We've turned wishes around in 24 hours.
Oh my goodness.
If we need to.
Yes.
And that's due to a wide array of people throughout the country who know about Make-A-Wish and are willing to make things happen. Traditionally, they happen anywhere from 3 months from the initial meeting to a year.
Okay.
Our goal is that they do it within 9 months, but sometimes that's not possible. But we like them to do it when the child is still excited. They've met with the volunteers, they've thought about their wish. I've had some families say, well, my child's 6 right now, and maybe he won't want to go to Disney when he's 12. Maybe his wish will change. And absolutely, his wish may change, and most likely it would change between he's 6 and he's 12. But the excitement will also change.
Sure.
When he's 6 and he's thrilled, he's excited because he wants to go to Disney, he wants to meet a character. When he's 12, he might say, I don't know, I guess I could do shopping. You want that excitement to be there.
Do you ever think you do this? I mean, you work in a extremely rewarding, but yet somewhat realistically difficult times sometimes.
Yes.
So I think somebody's chosen you special for this job.
Well, I tend to agree with you. When I interviewed with this job, and I don't want to make this about me, but it's a good story. When I interviewed with this job, I said to my husband, I think I would like to take this. I feel like this is the job meant for me. And he said, you're going to cry a lot? I said, well, I cry at beer commercials, so probably I'm going to cry a lot.
Right.
And he said, if this is the job you want, and there has not been a day that I've regretted taking this job. It is the most rewarding job I've ever had. I feel like it's been my calling, for lack of a better term.
No, it's a great word.
And I am so thankful every day that I have a job I absolutely love to go and do every single day.
You're ebullient, you're upbeat, you're always the proactive, positive person who's in the room and sends out those vibes.
No, thank you.
You are really well placed. Again, this is Jan Stork, and Jan is the Senior Director for Make-A-Wish, which includes almost all of Pennsylvania and all of New Jersey, or just
all of West Virginia.
All of West Virginia.
All of West Virginia.
A lot of territory to cover there. A lot of territory. And if you know of somebody that you think would need this service, what do they do, Jan?
They can call first if they know the family well. We urge them to call the family to say, "Have you ever thought about Make-A-Wish?"
I'd like to make this happen for you.
Yes. And if they don't know the family well, they're still welcome to call us, and we'll reach out and see if we might find someone who does know the family well, whether it's the doctor or a healthcare professional or a school counselor. We're happy to reach out and say, we've heard about this child. Do you know them, and could you approach the family?
Money is always appreciated, and of course, that you can do that in multiple of ways. But volunteers are also appreciated and needed. So how do they do that?
Absolutely. Again, they can call our office, 868-9474. And we actually have a training session come up. We do them twice a year. We usually do one in October and then another one in the spring, usually around April.
Okay.
And so they can attend those and become volunteers.
Yeah, and again, I have to say that I know we'll put this up, but there's a form that they ask that is the referral form. If you think you know somebody that wants to benefit from Make-A-Wish, there's a form that they ask you to fill out. So it's not just a Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland, let's throw a party here. You know, there's a lot more paperwork involved than I perhaps thought at first. But what you do is certainly a calling that is just, I know it's satisfying for sure.
It is.
It is. It just so much. The number of children that you have gone through the program, most of whom are not terminal.
Correct.
And they go on, and do they ever come back and do anything with Make-A-Wish and say, I guess my ultimate long-winded question is, do they pay it forward?
Oh, absolutely. We actually have, our part-time person is a former Wish kid that works in our office, and she interned with us for a couple summers in college, and now she's working for us. And we have several people on staff that do that, and we have some that raise money for Make-A-Wish when they're in school. They give back in a variety of ways, which is really nice to see.
You always pay it forward.
That's important.
Yes, it is. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Say hi to Jan Stork when you see her out and about. Jan Stork is the Senior Director for Make-A-Wish. Certainly an opportunity, an agency that is certainly worthy of your consideration, your volunteering, and your financial support. Thanks for being with us. I'm Phil Fatica. Until next time, take care.
You're watching the Millcreek Government Channel, powered by WQLN Public Media.